Hello and namaskar. Welcome to IIPA and Rakhee Bakshi. We are presenting to you this special show, Stalwarts Speak, in which you know that we talk to some of the bright minds, we take insights from them, and we also understand and learn through this show about many issues that are prevalent and contemporary. So right now we are going to talk to a very special guest. He is none less than the Secretary of the Government of India in the Ministry of Earth Sciences. We are going to talk about as to what's happening to our ocean, what's happening to our marine economy, blue economy, how we are preserving our ocean, and what is the roadmap ahead. So I welcome him on the show. Sir Ravichandran, sir, thank you for joining the show. So one of the things that I must start with is this very ambitious campaign which is going on right now. And we are saying that we have to really preserve our ocean. It is part of our mandate in SDG as well. And then how to, by preserving the ocean, we not only engage citizens in terms of understanding the importance of climate change, but also create this whole government citizenship partnership, and also look at how to preserve our oceans for the betterment of economy and society as well. So what would you say, sir?
Yeah, as you all know that now the oceans are becoming more and more warming, as well as more and more acidic. That is because of pollution and other things. So now it is important in the government of India has started one of the mission under the 10 vision document 2030. The sixth dimension of the vision is blue economy or the ocean. Under this, we plan to have what is called to clean the ocean, that is the health of the ocean to improve, or we have to reduce the contaminations. In that aspect, we want to make awareness about the people, how to save the coast clean and how to not to deter any of the waste materials and other things to the ocean. And the ocean will feed back because it is one of the important ocean is what we breathe off of the oxygen from the ocean, and it provides us a lot of energy, water, many other resources. So the health of the ocean we need to preserve. So we need to make them to understand the importance of the ocean to the people, so that to keep the ocean clean and healthy.
And that's why, as far as I understand and learn, sir, this whole campaign called Swachh Sagar, Surakshit Sagar came about. The idea is to, in 75 days, which started from 5th of July this year, to culminate on 17th of September, everyone should get in. So, I think people like parliamentarians, legislators, civil society people, or anybody, our celebrities are joining in and taking part, which also means that we want to involve everyone and really have a holistic approach to this.
Yes, because this is an ocean. India is having 7,500 kilometer coastline. So it is not the part of one person or one institution or one ministry can do. So that is why Ministry of Earth Sciences is leading this one. But all the other ministries, line ministries are part of it. Apart from the ministries, all other like NGOs and civil servant, and there are many people, public, mainly school children, younger generations. They have to be part of it. So they need to aware. Not only today, this 75 days, we have to keep up the ocean clean and healthy, but also in the future, we need to continuously maintain the ocean clean and healthy.
So that's the latest, sir. But talking about how to preserve our oceans, whether nationally or internationally, we are talking about it. Then what is the whole importance of preserving the ocean in the current scenario? We're looking at marine resources, how to preserve them, and how to also increase our whole economy situation, looking at blue economy to strengthen, something which is beyond underwater.
As you know, these land resources going on depleting, not only minerals and many other resources. So we need to depend on the ocean resources. It is not only living but also non-living resources. And we have a lot of resources like the fisheries. We need to have a health of a fishery system in the ecosystem we need to maintain, as well as the resources available in the ocean seabed and maybe the various places we need to harness sustainably as well as environmental friendly. So that is what we are looking at it. How we can harness these resources and how the economy of a blue economy.
And the optimum use also.
Yes, optimum use. How this blue economy resources will improve the country's GDP. So that is our main objective. Under that we have planned many various options of different dimensions, which are the area we have to look into for improving our blue economy.
Sure, sir. In fact, you were recently in Goa, and CPR is the nodal agency also, which is looking at our expeditions as well. And I've come now to that part also. The scientific expeditions which are being led to Antarctic. What would you say about the Arctic policy we have? And the also later part would be about the bill, Antarctica bill, which has come about 2022, which is a very, very significant milestone, I would say. So I think two parts of the question, sir.
Actually, India is a tropical country, but we heavily depend on polar regions, not only from Arctic but also Antarctic. But in terms of teleconnection between the tropics and the polar regions, very important because our monsoon modulates because of the sea ice in the Arctic, as well as the extreme rainfall happening in India. It's also transport the heat to the Arctic. It is a feedback mechanism.
Okay.
So year by year there will be a depleting of ice in the sea ice in the Arctic region. So we are concerned. It is not only that, but also the Arctic sea ice melts. It is roughly about 2040s. The summer sea ice will be Arctic will be ice free in summer. In that cases, the ship routing, optimum ship routing, most of the southeast like Japan and other things to the Europe. Now they don't need to come through Indian Ocean. It may go directly to Europe via Arctic. So it is about 30 to 40% saving of ship time as well as fuel. So then if that is the case, what is our Indian Ocean, what will happen, and what is our what is called India point of view? The shipping corridor will may change from Singapore to Iceland. So what we need to play, India how to play, that is another dimension. And the third dimension is the resources in the Arctic is a plenty because of its situation, its location. So there are 30% of oil reserves embedded inside the inside the sea ice. So once sea ice is open, the oil reserves are available. So though it belongs to the 8 Arctic nations, but also we need to look at it whether it is a central Arctic Ocean is a global common or it is a different thing. So we need to play some of the important role in that. So considering resources, climate change and the shipping routes, all these three countries we evolved our Indian Arctic policy.
And I think that's where crucially the importance lies, as you're explaining, sir, also how we are looking at it from the economic point of view, the social point of view, I would say diplomatically, how we are going ahead with this. It's a very significant area that we're looking at, sir.
Yes, geopolitically it is very important. Though we are not Arctic nation, but we are observer in the Arctic Council. So we need to play a meaningful role in order to have not only the resources but also in the geopolitically it is very important to have the India's place in the Arctic.
So somebody would say that regulation plays a very important part, but what would you say, sir?
Yeah, regulation, of course, that is basically some of the regulations in the Arctic nation. It depends on the what is called UNCLOS and other things. So they will, international UN will take care, but we have to follow as per the UN law.
Yes, sir.
That's important.
And talking about the very important bill that came about, sir, and which has really been talked about also, Antarctica bill, how significant it was to, now that it is passed, to have it there in terms of India's context.
Yeah, this Antarctic bill is very important. It is also mandatory because India is a consultative treaty member. So it is a mandatory, we need to have a law in place, like other nations. Because a few years back, some of the things happened in Antarctic, not our station, in some other stations. So which law is applicable to in Antarctica if any incidents happen? Not only people to people, but also environmentally if you damage, who is responsible? So that for that purpose only Antarctic law is in place, so that each country, their station and nearby area, they will be follow the own country. Suppose Indian station, Maitri and Bharati, Indian law will provide if anything has happened. So that is why it's important this law is in place.
To place our own stamp there.
Yeah. Not only that, it is basically mandatory. Not only 3 cases. One is that is central in the Southern Ocean region. There is a camel law.
Okay.
So living resources.
Okay.
And then environmental protection and the Antarctic Convention. All these 3 things to be catered, this bill has been introduced.
And what would it mean, sir, for the common people?
Common people, it is not directly impact, but the idea is If anybody wants to go to Antarctica, it has to go through the channel. It is not that
proper permission.
Proper permission and other things we have to follow. We cannot go, if it is an Indian flag, you have to take this type of rules and regulations. So now it is, there is no rule. So that's why it is been rule is formed for that purpose.
So talking about the scientific advancements, especially in our country, and I would like to also refer to Honorable Minister who keeps saying, Dr. Jiten Singh, that Indian Ocean is the name as our country has, and there lies the importance. How would you really look at some of the new advancements which are being made? For example, if we are talking about space, we are talking about Gaganyaan. I think we are talking about Samudriyaan here.
Yes.
So talk to us about the relevance, important, and what's happening there.
Yeah. Indian Ocean is very unique when compared to other oceans because of the landlocked countries in the north as well as the tropical. It is a warming, one of the warmest, warming trend is faster in Indian Ocean when compared to other oceans. But there are some resources and there are many other features embedded in the Indian Oceans. Considering this importance of the ocean, I think Government of India has launched one of the mission similar to Gaganyaan. It is a deep ocean mission. Under that, there are 6 verticals and the deep ocean mission. So one is for technology for the ocean, deep ocean, and second one is climate services, and the third one is harnessing, that is hunting, exploring some of the hydrothermal vent where the minerals and metals will be available. And fourth one is to keep our biodiversity intact and bioresources and other things. And again, the capacity building, whatever the capacity building we need to do and other things. So like that, there are many things, biotechnology and all blue biotechnology and all these things put together under deep ocean mission. Under the first mission, that means technology for ocean, we are planning to have 3 things under that. One is you have to go for the man below 6,000 meters.
Okay.
If you reach, we are the 5th nation to reach that type of kind of things. And we are planning to have a 3-man on the deep submersible, and they will go up to 6 kilometers. And that they will be able to explore what is that underneath the sea. That is important. And second thing is we are also developing a technology, a mining machine to mine the polymetallic nodules below about 5,000 meters depth and try to harness that metal with environmental friendly. So how to develop that instrument? Already we have developed such instrument, but at the same time we need to fully functional things we need to develop. So that is also we are planning. And there are many underwater instruments and technologies we are planning to have under this mission.
So I would say, and for the simple common people who are watching us and for their understanding, is that we've really started to think as to what is the treasure which is underwater and how to really technically make the maximum use of exploring and getting that kind of reserve.
Yes. Actually, the ocean is having enormous resources. See, not only non-living resources, minerals and metals, it is having energy, like a hydrothermal energy. That means what you have ocean thermal energy,
Yes, sir.
salinity gradient energy, wave energy, tidal energy, current energy. There are so many energy and offshore wind energy. So all this energy, if we tap it, it will have a huge potential. That is number one. And also we have living resources, and which is most of our Indian traditional fishermen, they are only bothered about coastal. But deep ocean, not much been harvested. So I think it is imperative in order to improve our blue economy, we need to go for a deep ocean harvesting fisheries. So because now at least 30% more requirement of fish, protein and other things in the coming 10 years. So we need to harvest more fisheries and other things. So in order to that, we need to go for a deep ocean fishery and other things.
So talking about and taking it further, there are other things also the ministry is looking at, which is about weather and something that I think should interest people. So IMD is really at it, as they say. Weather forecasting is being done. In fact, many of these predictions, when we refer to IMD, really come true as well. But how are you also involving people there and trying to really be, reach zero perfection kind of thing? How are you reaching?
Yeah, the weather forecasting, the better weather forecasting contains, there are 4 elements. One is observations. How more observation you have, that much improvement in weather prediction. Similarly, understanding, if you have understanding better and put them into model and better weather we can predict. And third one is you want to have uncertainty to reduce. We have to have more and more models. and very high resolution models. For that, we need a large HPC. So if all these 4 elements are in place, we can slowly improve. So now what are the observations? How much observation? We are planning to have more and more radars and automatic weather station, radios on the balloon and all many other observations. So now if we go more and more, if we double the observation, we can improve definitely. So for that purpose only, number of observations will play a critical role. For that, each member of the people, maybe we are crowdsourcing.
Yes, sir.
So suppose you have an observation, lightning is occurred here, you are able to tell through WhatsApp mobile or anything. So that input will go to the model and then it will improve next time predictions.
So let me inform the viewers here that, through this crowdsourcing, you can, wherever you are, just take a picture, post it and send it to a handle which is relevant here, which can be explained to you, or we can always write about that. And please do that. That is beneficial for you all.
Yeah, more observation, improvement in forecast.
Yes.
So we are like in every crowd, if it is rain, if they report it, or if it's lightning, if they report it, it will be very much beneficial in order to forecast the next time cycles. So I ask the same thing. Crowdsourcing is very important.
Involvement of people, yeah.
We have app for that, so you can always use.
What is the name of the app, sir?
Mosum app, so that you can always use that and put the whatever the weather you observe at that time. The observation today will always benefit tomorrow's weather.
Okay, so send it to Mosum app, as sir is saying. And so many observatories have also been opened, sir.
Many observations we have kept, and we are continuously improving and increasing, strengthening the observation, not only automatic weather station, but also radars and radios on a balloon. Now we are going with some of the trial experiment with instead of radios on a balloon, we are planning to go for drone-based observations.
Okay.
So that we can have a more and more frequent observation. At the same time, it is not use and throw. It is not consumable. We can get back. So we have a frequent observation also we can plan. That's the
Sure,
idea.
sir. So much is happening, and I think we all must know about it. Talking about a related field, which is disaster management, I think seismology is something that you're also looking at. How do we really control? Now, we can't control crisis fully, but how can we really have maximum impact?
Yeah, so the basic seismology is concerned, we don't have prediction system. We cannot predict because the science has not come so far. But at the same time, we need to understand. We need to observe more and more observation if we have. Then we will try to understand more. In that process, maybe in the few decades now, we will be able to predict. But now we know at any point of time, what is the earthquake of magnitude 3 and more we are able to target. Suppose if you have more and more observatories, we can go for higher and higher resolution. That means you can have now it is 3.5, maybe in few years we can go for 3 magnitude, we will be able to point out all over India. But ultimately we want to have each urban place, how the earthquake prone area, where the earthquake prone area, we just like to map it, which are the area is good for building, which are the area. For urban management also, we are planning to go for using seismological observations.
So what is this concept? I mean, you've talked about so many things that the ministry is at it. But what are the basic concepts, the roadmap, the schemes, the follow-ups that you're working on, sir?
Yeah, basically, as I told, Ministry of Earth Sciences is holistically looking at the atmosphere and ocean and solid earth, both ice and land, and related biological aspects of all these things. All the 5 species.
We've also started to look at Himalayas.
Yeah, so Himalaya is basically, it will come the cryospheric aspect of the soil ice. So not only we have polar region when we are talking about Arctic, Antarctic and Himalaya. All 3 poles has to be holistically look at it, and its reactions or maybe the weather pattern, how it changes, we need to look at it. So all the 5 spheres we are looking at holistically, and what is the interconnection between what is happening in the process. We try to understand the process and try to model them and try to forecast and provide valuable service to the common man.
And it's all over India. Sometimes people think that much is happening only in South, but I think it's all across.
It is all across India. It is all across India. Actually, weather pattern is not like local weather. The weather happening in Delhi, it is affected not only local, but also very remote.
And then it has impact on agriculture, the whole economy, sir.
Yes, that is what I mean. Weather mainly, the agriculture people, they don't require maybe next day's weather. They may require for medium range, maybe 10 days before or 15 days before. whether you can tell the weather forecast so that they can go for any of the planning activities, either seed or anything, planting or anything. They can plan well in advance. So it is imperative to have a medium range weather forecasting system in India. That is going on right now.
Okay, sir. Technologically speaking, I mean, in a competitive world, where do we stand, sir? I mean, we are doing much.
Yeah, we are doing very well in the technologically, but we need to improve because the tropical weather is much complex than the mid latitude and polar regions. So we need to have, if somebody is having in mid latitude, they have 100 observations, we should have 1,000 observations. So that is the reality and that is the complexity. So we need to have more observation, more understanding and model them, then we can go for the prediction. It is not only for the land weather prediction, but also ocean weather and ocean disaster like cyclones, tsunami, storm surges, and there are many other disasters we have to equip.
So you come from a scientific background. So the dream that you have, not only for the ministry, but as you envision for the nation as well, sir.
Yeah, it is basically the Earth system as a holistically we have to look at it. We have to understand more and more. If we understand everything, then that's the end of it. But it is a very complex system, and we need to understand well. But that is what we are all working on, various institutions under the Ministry of Sciences.
And it's a collective effort, isn't it?
It's a collective effort.
Okay, so thank you so much for giving us this time, sir, and also explaining so many things to us, because viewers, we must understand that we need to also understand what all is happening under this ministry, and it's a vast area, vast horizon, lot of technological, scientific advancement, but only for the good and larger good of the people, isn't it, sir?
Interestingly, not many countries, or maybe only country, India, has a Ministry of Earth Sciences, considering the importance of Earth. No other country, I feel
the focus, which means, is very much there.
Yes, so that is the importance we are giving to the Mother Earth.
So the importance we are giving to Mother Earth, we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav right now. We're looking at how India is developing, how India is charting its own map globally as well, and how our concerns are very much, I think, rightly in place also. And that's what the Secretary, Mr. Ravichandran, has really been very kind and gracious enough to tell us all about. Thank you so much for joining this show, sir. And we wish you all the best for all the endeavors that you have.
Thank you.
So that was Mr. Ravichandran, his secretary, as I told you, in the Ministry of Earth Sciences, and explaining all about oceans, all about how we can also increase our revenue, look at blue economy, and not only increase revenue, but also preserve what is there. So sustainable economy is what we are also looking at. And he has explained it so well. So thank you so much for watching this show, and namaskar.